What's going on, everybody? It is May 8th. Hope you're doing well on this very cold Friday for me. Very cold. Like, where's spring? Seems like for the past 2 years, it's been really cold when it should be at least a little bit warm. I don't know. Maybe it's just where I'm at. I don't know. Either way, I wish it was a little bit warmer. But I want to talk about DC Animated. So DC Comics has an animated universe. It's actually very good. Most of the movies have been pretty good, I got to tell you. I like most of them. There's about 15 movies, and they all exist in a shared universe. Most of them are very good. There's a lot of adult stuff in them. I like them. A lot of people like them. And I guess that's ending. So you have this final Justice League Dark movie coming out. I guess it's already out. And it pretty much wraps up the entire universe. You have Teen Titan movies, Justice League movies. There's been Superman, Batman stuff. I don't know why they're wrapping everything up. I thought that a lot of them were, you could have kept going, but I don't know. I haven't seen this movie yet. I haven't. I intend to watch it. I do, because I've seen all of them, and eventually I'll get around to watching this. But I got to tell you, there's some funny stuff here. Now, most of the DC animated movies I've watched, really not a lot of woke nonsense, and I haven't seen this one yet, so I can't tell you if there's any woke nonsense in this one. I haven't looked at any reviews. I'm trying to avoid spoilers the best I can. But John Constantine seems to be like the main character of the movie. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think Constantine is an all right character. Not my favorite character in the DC universe, but he's okay. A lot of people like him a lot. So I guess he's into dudes and girls. Not really a big deal. Anything I've ever seen with Constantine in it, that's never like the vocal point of the character. The character is character driven first, and then if there's any of that stuff in there, it's just a part of the plot. Not a big deal. But here's what I find funny about this. So apparently there's some weird stuff in this movie. And of course, NPC media is going to jump all over this and make this the forefront. This is why you must watch the movie. 2 articles here that have popped up that I kind of want to just make fun of a little bit. And I'm not going to just talk about this. There's a couple of other DC related stories that I want to go over. But my concern here is that the animated movies are starting to push over to these weirdos. This happens a lot. You'll see franchises start off really good, and then they start to move to some kind of weird woke territory. Now, I'm not saying that this movie is super woke. I'm not saying that. What I'm talking about here is the way that people grab onto stuff and push it. Like, that's the main concern. I do have some concerns, and I'll get into those. So let's start here. We go over here, and there's 2 websites talking about this. Pink News, which wanted me to accept cookies and all kinds of stuff, so I went to a different outlet. Fanbyte here. It's the same article on both sites, basically. John Constantine bottom for King Shark, and that's canon. First off, that's not canon. As far as I know, this only happens in this movie, but King Shark is this character right here. I can't play the clip, but from what I watched in the clip, Constantine comes in, and Harley Quinn's sitting next to King Shark, and Constantine says, oh boy, my ex. And he's with Raven, and Raven says, who, Harley? He's like, no, I'm not crazy. And then King Shark winks at him. We don't know the context of the relationship between him and John. We just know they hook up. But we're automatically assuming that Constantine is now taking it from a gigantic male shark. Now, where this is all coming from, and the reason they're saying that it's canon, is because of this response right here. I can't believe John Constantine totally bottomed for King Shark. And then we get a response from Miss Scott here. Believe it. I can't believe they let me write this. Now, just because this happens in the movie does not make this canon. First off, this is the animated DC universe. That's a different thing than the comics. Look at Hush. Hush is completely different than what happens in the comic book. The comic book version is the true canon. So, either way, it's just a joke. I'm not like going crazy about it. It's just catering, though, to blue-haired weirdos over on woke Twitter, right? to give them something. And it sparks these kind of articles, and then we see articles like this. Matt Ryan says Constantine isn't just into guys and girls. He's special. Okay. Now, this is a follow-up to Justice League Dark, the movie that just came out. So it's not really in relation to the TV live-action version of the character. They're talking about the animated version. But what this does is spawn a bunch of articles where they go on and on and on about this. And I've already noticed there's been a big uptick in Constantine articles now. Woke media is celebrating it. Oh my God, Constantine! This has been going on for a long time. But they want to get their fangs and their grips all over whatever form of comic book fandom they can and ruin it. So they're going to push for more of this stuff. Give him a movie where he's got his boyfriend with him the whole time. It's just more nonsense. But it's really weird, really. I mean, kind of degrading that he takes it from a gigantic boxing shark, but whatever. It's just funny that they can't push the movie on merit, that they think that this is what's going to push people to watch the movie. It's like, get out of here. Please stop. And they don't just stop here. DC Animated's been in some trouble for a while. I don't know how many of you have watched the Harley Quinn show on DC Universe. I don't know how well DC Universe as a streaming platform does. I have it. It's okay, but I imagine a lot of that stuff is going to move to HBO Max, and you're probably going to see DC Universe phased out. That would be my prediction, because why do you need it? I imagine Crunchyroll is going to phase out as well. I think a lot of the stuff is going to just roll over in HBO Max, which I think would make more sense to do. Well, we'll see what happens. But Harley Quinn has a lot of funny it has a lot of funny jokes in the show. There's a lot of potential in the show, but make no mistake, the show is woke. And they market the show on its woke nonsense, which I'll never understand. There was a clip that came out, released the Snyder Cut, and then you have this guy over here arguing with him, The Last Jedi is not canon. And they're hanging out in a basement to rub more salt on it. Of course, one guy is overweight. And, there's bong here and stuff like that. And they're like, there's a lot of stuff that they're trying to say here. Bearded incels, stuff like that. Kind of surprised that they're not two white dudes, which is what they always push. But they're making fun of the people that don't like The Last Jedi and release the Snyder Cut. Now, the Harley Quinn show has its moments. It could be a really funny show, but they take a lot of stuff where they just get really too woke, like Mr. Freeze was depicted as the wokest man in the world and all this stuff. It's just, I don't know. I stopped watching it because it just got too cringy for me. But it's just such a shame, because the show did have a lot of potential. It did. There's some really funny moments in that show. But, I just noticed a trend here. A lot of the DC animated properties are getting woker and woker. The shark banging thing is just kind of more evidence of that. So I wonder, can anything just be made for like everybody, for fans, and not insult them and push all this garbage in there? It's just a shame. And you know what's going to happen now? So Justice League Dark gets all this attention for doing this with Constantine. There's tons of headlines right now about Constantine hooking up with dudes and sharks. So DC is going to take notice of that. Well, we got a lot of free press, so they'll make another movie and they'll dial it up a little bit more, and a little bit more after that, and a little bit more with that. And then, eventually fans that actually buy and purchase merchandise in these movies and buy them and don't pirate them, they're going to get ignored. And then all of the woke weirdos over on Twitter will just pirate the stuff anyway. And the franchises will continue to lose money and start to get memory hold and fall out and, forgotten. And then we'll just lose all of this stuff. But that's just what I wanted to point out there. I do have some good news that we can end the video on. Apparently, there's big rumors that Supergirl movie is canceled and Henry Cavill will return as Superman, which I think is really cool. I think Henry Cavill is an awesome Superman. I don't necessarily think the movies he's been in have been the best Superman movies, but I do like him as Superman. I think he fits the character. I think he looks like him, and I think he's a good actor, and I like him. Like, I think he has the best answers where There's an interview where he was called, like, he said, what do you think of toxic fans? And, well, I don't think they're toxic. I think they're just passionate. He's one of the few people that doesn't spit on fans. He seems to respect them and actually want to treat fans well. Isn't it crazy that, we praise celebrities treating us good? Shouldn't that be the expectation? Anyway, that's it. So, some concerns about the future of DC's animated movies, which have been pretty stellar, but I've noticed a trend, and I really wonder, is it going to just keep getting dialed up? I wonder what the next ones are going to look like. We'll see what happens. But woke media, very, very happy about Constantine, and they're pushing him. He's their new hero. We'll see what happens. But at least maybe Henry Cavill's coming back. I would really like that. I'm hoping he does. But, we'll see what happens. Take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about all this. Do you think the DC animated movies are lost? Also, if you would, throw a like up, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.